and welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. It is England and Australia that we're talking about right now. Geez, it has been absolutely comprehensive. It's been one way, it's been destructive. Australia just couldn't get a car going in that direction because the traffic was just oncoming. That's right. Jos Buttler. Geez, he was in some hurry today. Maybe it was last call at the bar, but so he was missing his bus perhaps, was 71 of 32. He was in a hurry. And of course, Johnny Bairstow in the end as well, getting into the action. And Jason Roy, well, they had a good opening partnership. It was a 66 in the power play, the most lucrative power play that any batting team has had in this World Cup. And of course, Jos Buttler in that kind of form was always going to finish it up. Got Dinesh Karthik and Michael Vaughan here with me. Michael, it was like the decisiveness of a butcher shop with the precision of a surgery.
That's a hammering. First and foremost, can I congratulate you both? GK, you said that there wasn't going to be a combox at the halfway. That got dispatched. DK, you put your life savings. You risked your life savings on England winning, and you've both been proven to be correct. England in that kind of form, you can't beat them. It's as simple as that. When you get England on the form that we've seen tonight, with the ball to start with, the strategy, getting on top of a team and then just kind of squeezing. And then you get Buttler in that kind of form. I'm sorry, no one can beat England if they arrive and play to that standard. It's not saying that someone can't beat them going down the line in the tournament, but if England play to that standard, there's no team in the world that can match them with the power, the strategy, and that togetherness and that experience that they've got from playing pretty much for 4 years together now in terms of 50-over cricket and now T20 cricket. They're an outstanding team to watch when they play. Yeah, they're
really just well-oiled, solid concrete, cement, just everything, use whatever superlatives you want to. I think everything just works for it. But Dinesh, let's talk about Jos Buttler's form today. Geez, I mean, some of the shots that he's hit, right? I mean, it didn't matter what the length was. It didn't matter what the line was. He had decided to hit it. He was going to hit it. And he did hit it.
There's quite a few sides to watch. And Jos Buttler in full form is an absolute treat to watch because he can hit it to all parts of the ground, literally all parts of the ground. From the left shoulder of the keeper to the right shoulder of the keeper, he can go a full circle and he'll hit you anywhere he wants. And he's a great guy off the field as well. It's so nice to see him perform to the level that he's performing. A small break post the India Test series for him to come back. He just looks in good nick. He just looks in good space. Some of the shots that he played, he's got a flat batted swing as well. So if the bounce is good, more often than not, if it hits the center of the bat, it goes a long, long way. And you saw that 102 meters 6. Jeez, what a shot that was.
Yeah, really. I mean, there's so many to pick there, right, Michael? I mean, he was just in some kind of bizarre form today. It's the hands. It's just how quickly the hands go through. Just make it look so effortless. The timing is immaculate. It's brilliant batting.
Yeah, it's like all great players when they have their zone and they have their moment out in the middle where everything just looks so easy. It's because they assess what the bowler's going to do early. They see it before it's come out of their hand where the ball's going to be. They've just got a cue from the bowlers, run up the action. I've seen it in Test cricket with Steve Smith over the years in terms of the last couple of Ashes series. In so much time, he's almost assessing the ball before it's released from out of the hand. And that's what Buttler can do. He can see the field, he can see something with the bowler, he can see something with the action. And before it's released, he knows it's going to be in a certain zone. He gets himself in an early position. And what he tries to do with those sixes, I've spoken to him a lot about hitting the sixes. And, when I used to try and hit a six, I didn't hit many. I used to think you go high, just trying to get it in the air. Well, he tries to hit it flat. He keeps his head down like a golf shot and he just tries to hit it flat. And he knows if he does that, it will get some elevation, it will get some rise. But he tries to hit sixes as hard as he can flat. Not many do that. I guess MS Dhoni's done it for quite a while, but there's not many in the game have hit flat sixes like Jos Buttler. And as I said before, when you get Buttler in that kind of form and mood, you just can't stop him. You just hope that he misses one, he puts one in the air, or someone takes a flying catch. But, you just know that when he gets into that zone, very difficult
Dinesh,
to stop.
You can't understand it because it seems almost counterintuitive because he doesn't look like Iron Man, right? He doesn't look like the biggest bull, in the China shop in terms of the way he's built. So it seems counterintuitive that he'd want to hit flat sixes, right? I mean, when Russell does it, you understand. When Dhoni does it, you understand. I can't understand it. If you can just throw some light on it, it's just the brilliance of how he just gets that done when it seems just so counterintuitive.
So there are two types of hitting here, Gaurav. One is power hitting, and then one is swing of the bat. So a lot of players, touch players, use the swing of the bat, which is a lot straighter. Let's say, as an example, a bit like a golf swing. The swing of the bat, if you remember the Brian Laras, these people had a swing of the bat. So if it came down in their downswing and on the way up, the ball used to go. Now, what Jos Buttler does is called power hitting. So he takes his left leg out of the way, uncoils. So basically, he's got a coil. From there, he uncoils a bit like a boxer. When you're standing in this position and you go bang, the power that you get is, in many ways, that's what that hitting is. So he uncoils the hip, and that gives the power in getting that shot. If you closely notice the two shots of Mitchell Starc, he sets himself up, removes his left leg out of the way, and then uncoils, and at the point of impact, opens it up, and it goes a distance. The distance comes not from the arms, not from the biceps, but from the core, coiling and uncoiling. So it's basically, that's what power hitting is about. Using the ground forces to execute, get into a strong position, use the core to uncoil at the right point, and then the ball travels a lot further than what you can do with your biceps.
Love it. That explanation of Dr. Karthik here, Michael. Look at him. Dr. Dinesh in the house.
Yeah, coiling. All in the core. That's why I couldn't hit sixes like that. My core was always a bit wobbly.
Well, today the England core is looking solid and the Australian core is looking very wobbly. You have a look at their bowlers today. They didn't really have much. I mean, they tried themselves with the bat to give themselves a decent total to bowl at. Because it's pretty much them who got all the runs. They hit all the sixes, but when they came out, there's really not much you can do. And it's very little you can do, Michael, when you run into a marauding Jos Buttler. But was anyone there impressive? I mean, Ashton Agar perhaps a little bit, but they had it for Zampa. They had his number on speed dial.
Yeah, they were always going to. No, the England side realised that with this Australian bowling attack, they've got some key components. Starc, if it swings, is a real threat. But England always feel we start that if they hit him early, they put him under pressure, and he can have off days if you do that early to him. If he gets off to a flying start and he gets one or two early ones, of course he can have a great day. But England have always tried to attack Mitchell's start, which derails the Australians. They also try and target Zampa because Aaron Finch, rightfully so, they think from the 6th over, Zampa comes on, he causes a bit of a squeeze and he gets wickets from around the 6th to the 15th, and that's his zone. England try and knock that out of the equation. And then Australia, realistically, they haven't got a great deal else to turn to. The Aussies are a decent side. They're not up there at the minute with the top teams. They're not up there with the Indians and the English side and the Pakistan side, but they're still a threat. They've obviously won 2 games already in the tournament, played okay. I wouldn't say they played great. They played a lot better against Sri Lanka than they did against South Africa. But I'll be interested in what DK, when you get that kind of pummeling today against the favourites that you could argue with Pakistan and India, that's going to take a lot of confidence out of that Australian side, because I think they thought they were on the right path. And this was the perfect game for them they're not developing, but in their kind of progression as a side. This was the perfect game for Australia in this tournament. 3rd match, you've won 2. It's a bit of a free hand because you've got those 2 wins in the bank. What can you do against a real quality side? And they've been absolutely hammered. I think that'll affect the Australians going forward.
Their self-esteem, Dinesh? I mean, for Australia now, the way it's not, a lot, there are certain teams to whom a loss hurts, right? For England and Australia, it's each other. For India and Pakistan, it's each other. I think both India and Australia now have lost to their sort of arch nemesis, in a really kind of, dominating manner. So, some defeat, some more defeat than others.
No, you're absolutely right. But I think Australia deep down know England is a far, far better white ball unit than Australia. You have to understand England have been playing the same set of players for a couple of years now in the lead up to the World Cup, whereas Australia have definitely given their preference for Test cricket. Then ODI, I think in the pecking order, T20 comes the least. These 11 guys who have played on together as 11 on the park today, I don't think they've played before in a long, long time together in a T20 game against any country. So obviously, when you cobble together a pretty hastily cobbled side, so to say, obviously the results are not going to be great. I don't think they're going to like the way they've hammered today. But I do think, India losing to Pakistan and England. India losing to Pakistan and Australia losing to England were both beaten very comprehensively. What this does in Group A is the run rate is going to come down for Australia. So now a West Indies and a South Africa are really going to fancy the chances, because one upset here and there, both of them are going to look at it and go, wow, we have a chance in this as well. So it's getting a little interesting there.
I mean, see, England, I mean, you don't even need to look at their net run rate, which is +4. I mean, that's stuff that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are looking at and saying our rockets don't go that high. And England is just easy with their 6 points, with the form that they're in, they're making it. So now there is an interesting battle for the second qualifying position out of this group, Michael. How do you see it? I mean, you're seeing those 4 teams below England. England was cut above. Whoever's the second, perhaps a distant second, even in terms of form, who are you looking as the front runner out of the next 4 teams?
Well, look at South Africa. With the teams that they've got to play, that West Indies versus Australia game is going to be almost like a quarter final, you could argue. One thing's for sure, England are finishing top. And now in the other group, Pakistan, look, they're going to finish top. Who's going to finish second in both groups? Because whoever finishes second in both groups have got the most almighty tough game in the semi-final against England and Pakistan. At this minute, I still think Australia will win the games to get through. But it's how they pick themselves up. And, I thought they changed quite a lot today. The Australians putting Smith in at number 3, not been playing at 3 in this T20 tournament. Putting Maxwell into the power play, wasn't too sure about that. I think someone like a Stoinis or a Wade could have gone in there and leave Maxi for that middle. So they went against a little bit of the grain of what they're trying to achieve. If they go back to what they were doing before this game, it's almost like they were playing England and they've overthought it and maybe strategized because they thought they had to do something different against this quality England side. I think if they go back to what they had been doing, the Aussies should have enough to win the games and get that second spot. But that game against the West Indies, because of that win, they're playing nowhere near the standard of what we all expect from the West Indies. But they are the kind of team that they could be late in terms of getting their form and getting their kind of rhythm. And all of a sudden, they sneak into the semi-finals. And we've seen it in the last World Cup. The last T20 World Cup, similar kind of thing happened. All of a sudden, that West Indies group get their mojo, get their confidence. And if they snuck into the semi-finals, having won the last 3 games and won it well, again, the West Indies won't be a side you want to mix about with the semi-finals. But there's so much to play for, so many kind of conundrums. But one thing's for sure, Pakistan are top, England are top, and it's about the refs fighting it out for those semi-finals.
It's a very interesting point that you just made, because it's the last game for both of them, for Australia and West Indies. I think they play on the 6th of November, and that will be the last for each, the 5th game in the group for each of them. But here's the thing, Dinesh, the West Indian team. They're obviously looking, kind of out of sorts. They're not looking like that, the mighty kind of T20 champions, defending champions here. But discount them at your own peril, because there are some serious X-factor players in the mix there.
Oh, right at the outset, most of the critics or cricket experts, all of them put West Indies top of the rung along with England from this group to qualify. Nobody had any doubt. But the way they have turned up, the kind of cricket they've played has been nowhere close to the kind of cricket they've been playing over a period of time. That's a solid team. If ever there was a word power, it's written all over that West Indies team. Every guy exudes power. Now, you would expect that team to stand up and do well. Yes, their bowling is not the strongest in the comp, but it's okay. Their batting makes up for it easily. But, it's been very disappointing to see the way they've batted. They've kind of, stuttered, struggled. In many parts, they haven't, been their flamboyant self with a lot of flair is what they play. Nothing of that sort, because, a few players are obviously short on confidence. The guys who are confident are, kind of put into a hole where they have to do all the work in terms of hitting the boundaries. So many small problems. But if they can find a way to get it all together, it is the most beautiful team to watch as well, because they play a brand of cricket. They dance, they enjoy whenever a wicket falls. It's great to be a spectator and watch West Indies, not be the opponent, because it's very, very annoying at times the things they do. But if you're a spectator, they're a great team to watch.
And the reason why you say it's annoying is because they'll never sledge you. So they don't really give you a reason to kind of hate them, because they're not sledging you. They're just doing things which is like, I just failed and you're annoying me now.
Oh, definitely. It's like, off the field, after the game is over, you can go and give a hug to each one of them, and they're nicest guys. But when you've just nicked the ball and you just caught it long on, the guy is dancing and you're going, oh my God, don't rub salt into my wounds. It just feels very, very annoying at times. But, they're lovely guys. As I said, they were my favorite team coming into this World Cup to watch because they play a terrific brand of cricket. But I think including themselves, they'd be very disappointed with the way they've played. A little glimmer of hope, almost lost their way against Bangladesh as well, but somehow they just found a way to stay in there. It'll be good to watch how they proceed in this tournament.
Yeah, that Calypso band's just been a little out of sync, but as I said, you discount them at your own peril, because if on one of those days, one or even two of those X Factor players stand up, then they're really going to decimate the opposition. I'm just going to sidetrack a bit right now because you were talking about celebrations. Michael, the most kind of annoying celebration that you've ever seen with the opposition?
Oh, I think any team that beat you in a Test series, and
no, but any bowler, there weren't those many loud, crazy, nutty celebrations at your time, right? I mean, there was no Imran Tahir running off to the boundary.
Again, the West Indian, any West Indian that got you out, they'd run around and do their aeroplanes and do all sorts in front of your face. But I always hate losing a Test series because you knew that you had to go into the opposing dressing room and shake a few hands. You'd have a beer in their dressing room. You're in the winner's enclosure. They're delighted. You're a bit gutted, and you have to spend that spirit of cricket kind of time with the opposition, shaking the hand and saying a load of pleasantries when really you just want to get out of there, get home, and sulk.
It's not going to
happen quite a few times, I'm assuming.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah.
A little midnight sledge here from DK.
No. I didn't say it that way. What I said was the sulking part gets very annoying towards the end of it. I completely get what he's saying. Not the part where he lost.
Oh.
Now,
he's had a good run as a captain.
The sledge one was working well. It's nice. Come on.
DK is not a sledger.
You're right. He's not.
He's not a sledger. He's one of the nice guys. But he wouldn't be sledging.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that he's.
Well, I don't think so. It's our debut. It's our debut together. Give it a week or so.
I'm just really happy that
England match.
Ooh, yeah. I'm just really happy that Dinesh actually has been
England's semi-final
in one position through the entire show. We've not lost him. He's been center of frame through the entire show today. He hasn't moved out. He hasn't gone away. He hasn't gone down. Hasn't gone up. Ooh, well done. Have you been glued to your seat? Something.
Is that me?
DK, what about you? The most funniest or the most annoying celebration that you've seen?
Annoying would be, when I got out once to Dwayne Bravo and he gave me the run around and just pissed me off. Really did. It was the Gangnam Style. That is right. Great celebration. I used to like that Curtly Ambrose doing this when he got a wicket. It was cute, I thought.
Yeah.
Again, it's great to watch.
That is perhaps the first time in history that Curtly Ambrose's bowling and the word cute have been in the same sentence. I don't think they've ever coexisted, but well done. All right. Well done to England, of course, today. Also, well done to South Africa. Remember, the first game today was in this group. It was Sri Lanka v South Africa, SLVSA. And Sri Lanka were restricted to 142, all out again on the dot of the 20th. This is probably, I'm betting that this is the first time ever in the history of any T20 World Cup that both teams batting first on the same day have gotten all out on the last ball. There you go. This is a joy factor question.
This is when we need joy.
2022 World Cup, this question is going to be there. Or the 22 IPL. You never know. One of them is going to be there. And of course, South Africa got that done. There was a bit of hiccups towards the end, but Miller gave us a thriller right at the end, and of course got the 2 points for South Africa to just round off the day's business. Just going to show you the points table one last time for this group, because tomorrow is the other group where India is playing, of course. But you see England kind of head and shoulders above everybody else. They played 3, won all 3. They've got 6 points there, and the net run rate looks like it's had 3 booster shots after their full vaccination. South Africa has got 4 points, as have Australia. So they're tied there. And Sri Lanka and West Indies with just the 1 win. Bangladesh yet to open their account. 2 games each for all the 6 teams left. This is Group 1 of the Super 12. Now, let's have a look at the other group. Yes, it's India playing tomorrow. Jeez, I think I was 14 years old when India played a match in the T20 World Cup last. Seems like it was so long ago. They haven't played in a week. All right. Here's what is strange, Dinesh. What's going through the team's head? Because you're almost writing congratulatory letters to teams saying, "Oh, you're through to the semi-final." With this team sitting there going, "1 second, we just played one game."
It's actually very funny. I think there have been more fights and issues on social media in the last 1 week than there has been in one whole year by now. But all said and done, Pakistan have gone on to play 2 more matches after that, and they played pretty well after that. Gone on to win all 3 games. Almost booked themselves a spot, considering they're going to be playing Scotland and Namibia. You would like to think that they're going to top the group. They're playing some real good cricket. India, on the other hand, in many ways, this is the quarterfinal for them, and they know it. They get through tomorrow. They know that they have a pretty easy. I can't say easy because they have Afghanistan there, but you would like to think that they have a good chance to move forward in this tournament. And it does feel like a long time, but all said and done, it's happening tomorrow, and I'm really, really excited to see how India is going to shape up against New Zealand.
It's the big game, isn't it, Michael? I mean, India and New Zealand, both kind of hurting a little bit, and both have been made to cry a few tears by the same team, by Pakistan, which is why this game becomes just so significant, so interesting. Two teams that are in good nick, they've got good players. This is going to be a really, no, I shouldn't say it. Said it today, and look what happened with Australia, England. I've said it anyway. This is going to be one. This is going to be one intense encounter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a quarterfinal. I think whoever wins tomorrow will make the second spot, because I don't see them getting unstuck by the other teams. Afghanistan can cause a surprise. They nearly did so to Pakistan. I think that's the banana skin for both these teams. And whichever team wins tomorrow, that's the one game that they know that could be quite tricky. Namibia, Scotland, I don't see them how they've got anything to threat these two sides going forward. I do think it's unfair, actually, that India and New Zealand have only played one game so far. When you think Pakistan have played 3, England have now played 3. I know TV schedules and making sure that India play at the right time, but I still don't think it's fair for any team to have played one game now, and New Zealand, when other teams have played 3. I think it needs to be a bit more consistent. But yeah, it's just about finding your game, isn't it? It's about finding belief in individuals' games, collectively getting the strategies right. I do think India need to go for it a bit more with the bat. To win this World Cup, I think they'll have to go for it a bit more with the bat. I think they play it a little bit too safe. I think they've got wonderful talent, wonderful batters that can really play an aggressive game, pretty much from ball 1 all the way down to the last ball of the 20th over, because they've got so much skilled power, great combinations. So I'd like to see them play a bit risky, particularly after the 6th over. From 6 to about 12, I still feel you've got to go for boundaries. The old days of knocking it around and just hanging in there. Yes, if you've lost a few wickets, you have to rebuild. But if you've only lost 1 wicket in the power play, you've got to go. You've got to keep going, because that's the way you're going to have to play to beat an England side, to beat a Pakistan side. So you've got to start training the brain early in the tournament to know that when you get to the semi-final, and then you play well enough to get to the final, it's got to be embedded in the system to play really aggressive.
Yeah, it's got to be. I think, Dinesh, what Michael is saying with the batting is just one gear up. Just one gear up.
I think Indian team are batting really well. You take the 2 practice games, they smashed it in the first 6 and then kept going.
Yeah.
Obviously, Shaheen Afridi blew them away with the first couple of wickets, and then you had to play catch up. Obviously, Surya Kumar got out. Once you lose 3 wickets and you have Rishabh Pant batting with Virat Kohli so early in the game, then dynamics changes. I think the Indian team, yes, over a period of time, have probably at times not hit so many boundaries through the middle or maybe up top as well. But, KL Rahul in full flow, Rohit Sharma in full flow. They're 2 world-class batsmen. I was just looking through the side there. Jeez, that 15 looks solid. Very, very good 15. 1 bad game and 1 week's wait just makes it look like, wow, where is this Indian team now? But if they're on song, they are an absolutely gun team. And as much as everybody would like to say, I don't want to play a Pakistan, I'm pretty sure they don't want to play in India either.
Yeah, I have to say, though, that...
No. Yeah. But I will say this. I will say that if you were ever going to lose to Pakistan, you didn't want to lose the first game with a week to go to your next game, because it does create all this debate on social media. And if you're ever going to lose your first game, this tournament wasn't the tournament to lose the first game, particularly to who India lost it to with such a big gap. But No, you're right. India, they're a good team, and they can quite quickly send shivers down all the other teams. So at the minute, I still think all the rest of the world fear them, because we all know what they've got. But at this stage in this tournament, because India have only played one game, Pakistan have played to this level, England have played to this level, and obviously India have lost that one game. But they come out tomorrow and blow the Kiwis away. It becomes very clear to me a three-horse race.
I like how Michael just showed Pakistan have played here. England have just played slightly ahead.
Slightly better now.
Slightly better.
After today, just a little bit better.
Today, you got to give that to them today, though, because today they were just on fire. Any changes? Do you guys see any changes in the India team, perhaps in the bowling?
I would like to see one change. I would like Shardul Thakur to play instead of the choices between Shami and Bhuvi, obviously, and either of them is okay, but both are great bowlers. But I would love to see Shardul Thakur there. I think he's at the peak of his confidence, getting those big wickets. He's willing to bowl anywhere from the first over to the 20th over. I'd love to see him there.
Michael, for you?
Yeah, you got to get the Lord in there. He can't do no wrong.
Yeah.
Lord Thakur in every format of the game, he's just got that, whatever it is. He's got it. He creates
some
magic.
People have that in them. I think I've seen him over a period of time playing for Bombay in Ranji Trophy. Dead wicket comes, finds a way an inside edge bowl. Somebody just innocuously flick it, gets caught at mid wicket. You don't know how it happens, but it happens. So I want that guy because coming into that game, he would trust himself to do well. And also the name that's being spoken about a lot, but I don't know how they'll fit him in is Ravi Ashwin, obviously. But I don't see how and where you can fit him in this team.
There is obviously, Shardul has just shown that he's kind of fairy dust right now. Like wherever he is, there's just something or the other happening, whether he's got with bat or with ball. Will India make that change tomorrow or not? Will they stick with their same bowling? We, of course, will find out. New Zealand, let's have a look at their team and get your opinion in on whether they would make any changes at all after losing that game to Pakistan. Michael?
New Zealand, they're very similar to England. They stay very consistent with their group. They believe they've got the right group. They believe they've got the right set of players. Kane Williamson's a very consistent leader. He will change the team if he feels the pitch says to him that the strategies need to change in terms of the bowling department, and that'll be all the time that he looks at the pitch. He'll speak to his management, his senior players, kind of work out what he feels is right, and that'll be the reason why he changes the team. He certainly won't change the team on one performance or one iffy performance by an individual. He'll stay very consistent. He'll just wait for the day and make sure that he tries to read the pitch properly. For
you, Dinesh, any changes for New Zealand tomorrow?
I heard there's an injury worry. Martin Guptill, obviously, he got injured on his toe, so he might not play. We wouldn't know. So if in case he doesn't play, then I can see Tim Seifert opening, and they'd probably fit in another batsman in the middle. What is really interesting is Tyrrell Mitchell hadn't opened for New Zealand until he opened in the last game for New Zealand against Pakistan. So he never opened. So it's very interesting because Seifert had been opening for some time. They were speaking about Devon Conway maybe. Then they said maybe Kane Williamson, but then they ended up with Tyrrell Mitchell. So that's very interesting. They've gone at the start of the tournament with somebody who's never done it before.
Yeah. Martin Guptill was a Harris Ruff ball, wasn't it? That hit his toes?
Was that the Yorker on his left toe?
Yeah, 150, man. They're coming at you at 150. Remember Pakistan with their toe crushers? You faced those toe crushers, Michael, did you? Waqar and Wasim?
Yes, I got Wasim and Waqar a few times, and Shoaib with those big dippers. Yeah, just keep your toes out of the way. Just bat. It's a lot easier when you bat outside the stump. They generally try and aim for the stumps.
Just go near the square leg umpire. The closer you are to the square leg umpire, the safer you are when those guys are bowling at 155. Okay, there's, of course, the other game as well that's happening tomorrow. There's two games that are happening. As I said, there's Afghanistan playing Namibia tomorrow. Namibia, of course, got that win against Scotland the other night. They took their time getting it, but at the end of the day, Dinesh, all that matters is that they got the 2 points. They opened their account. They got those 2 points. And I think their big plus from that was just what Trumpelman did right in the beginning. He did a bit of a Shaheen Afridi to Scotland, didn't he?
Absolutely. Namibia, nobody coming into the group stages, nobody expected them to qualify. There was a bit of a fairy tale run there. The celebrations were just beautiful. And then they come in, and if they had said, we want to beat one team, it had to be Scotland. And I'm sure they're very, very happy with the result that they got against Scotland. just Trumpelman of the way he bowled. David Wiese has been consistent. The middle order has been pretty solid every time. David Wiese has done well for them. They found ways to win. It's just a nice story, and cricket needs such stories, The countries which have not played so much cricket playing the way they're playing, they're having their celebrations, just good to watch. I think everybody feels happy for Namibia. So overall, their captain is a solid guy, Gerard Erasmus. So, it's fun watching them play, and I think they've got the most out of the World Cup, if I can say from an associate nation point of view, I think they're taking back the most out of this World Cup.
Yeah, you talk about stories. We can't look beyond their opponent, who has been one of the best stories in the last 10 years, Afghanistan, haven't they, Michael?
Yeah, they're fantastic. Their spin options are right up there with the best in the tournament. I love the way they bat. I love the way that they go for it. They just kind of realise that it's an opportunity to strike, have a bit of fun, and that's what pretty much all their batting lineup does. In a funny kind of way, tomorrow's more of a pressure game for Afghanistan because, when they played Pakistan, no one really gave them much hope. There was probably a 70-30 game in favour of Pakistan, and they nearly pushed them all the way to that victory. Tomorrow, no one expects Namibia to do anything. So all the pressure's now on Afghanistan. And Namibia have beaten Scotland, which would have been a 50-50 game. The next stage for a Namibia side is to beat an Afghanistan, because it's just a step up from beating a Scotland side. And Afghanistan will probably feel more of the pressure tomorrow than they did than playing against Pakistan, because suddenly the mental zone becomes one of expectation rather than just hope. So I'll be interested to see how Afghanistan go about their business. I've been really impressed by Namibia. They have to just qualify first. They come into the big stage, if you like, of the T20 World Cup. They've won the first game against Scotland. Can they go that one little step extra and beat a team like Afghanistan, who have been around for a bit longer? That would be an incredible World Cup if they can win one more game in this year's T20. They've been a fantastic achievement.
So the marquee game tomorrow evening, that is India and New Zealand. We're all super, super excited about that. Almost as excited as we were about...
Are you nervous?
Me, no, I'm not.
Are you nervous?
Tomorrow.
Nervous, you too?
Tomorrow, so
no. DK, you nervous? At least he's telling the
cool,
truth.
Man. Just be cool, bro. Just be cool. Just play it cool. Just downplay it. I'm just downplaying it.
I'm a little more nervous when you're not playing, I've realized, when you're watching than when you're playing. At least that's what I felt.
I used to feel a lot more nervous when I used to play.
Yeah.
So there you go. So we've got it covered 50-50 between us. Okay, well, listen, nobody can get as nervous before a game as the quizzers get before Joy Factor question that comes every day. We don't get nervous, the three of us, because we know that we will just have no idea, right? It's that incoming kind of dipping toe crusher, and just to get your toes out of the way. So we did. We tried the guesses. Dinesh, I just want to tell you that Zaheer Abbas... You want me to finish that sentence, don't you? He's like, come on then. Zaheer Abbas was a good guess, but you can tell from the way I'm saying it, that's consolation, because the answer is, come on, bring it up. Majid Khan.
No.
Oh. Centuries before lunch on the first day of a test match. Majid scored it on the 30th of October, 1976. Which is 45 years from today, right? The complete list is Trumper, McCartney. This could be Paul McCartney, I don't know. Michael will tell us. Don Bradman, Majid Khan, David Warner, and Shikhar Dhawan. Wasn't Shikhar Dhawan's on his debut? No, that was on the day.
Yeah, Mohali.
Yeah,
Mohali.
that was,
right.
So there you go. That's a very interesting list. We did not know, but you were kind of close. I mean, they batted near each other. Majid was Zaid Bhai was probably non-striker when Majid got his 100. So you're very close. You were 22 yards away from the right answer. I've completely made that fact up, but I think that it will float really well. Let's see who got the correct answer in. There were plenty correct answers. And the winner, the first person,
it'll be Joy.
His other account. Oh no, this is a new one today. Rajat Bhargava. Congratulations, Rajat. Rajat, your name means silver, doesn't it? Rajat means silver. But today you have struck gold, my friend. Struck gold. Well done. You have won the Joy Factor question today. And for that, you get applause from all three of us, because I think you are absolutely fantastic. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Michael's giving the condescending slow clap, but that's only because it's coming out of respect.
Well, it's Joy's account. It'll be another Joy account.
it's just him.
He's got about 50.
I think he's
it's just him. He wins every day.
blockchaining the answers in. I think there's some blockchain situation going on here. Yeah. That's what he's doing. All right, that's all we have time for. I think we're done. That's business. So we're going to be here tomorrow at 3 p.m. That's, of course, for the first game, which is Afghanistan, Namibia. And then, of course, the big game for all the Indian fans. Sunday evening, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. It's going to be India and New Zealand. That's happening tomorrow. Big thank you to Michael Vaughan and Dinesh Karthik. Did you boys play well with each other? Did you enjoy your first day batting with each other? Was it enjoyable, Michael?
Good.
I enjoyed it.
It was very good.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get my signature on my wall for the next time. DK, when you next down, I'm gonna get it on here.
I'm gonna go and get my signature, which is in my bar.
Nicely done. Nicely done. All right. Saturday night, we're not judging nobody. Go out and have a good time. Just be responsible. That's all. And we'll see you tomorrow on Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Good night.